Intermission interview. Once again, here's Owen Newkirk.
Welcome back, everybody, live here in Des Moines as we are tied at 2 at the end of 40 minutes of play. No pun intended, kind of a wild game so far, as we're joined live by the Texas Stars general manager, Scott White, who, of course, holds a high-up title in the Dallas Stars hockey operations department. I want to ask you, before we get into talking a lot of Texas Stars stuff, just now that you've had a week or two to digest the end of the trade deadline, how the Dallas Stars felt they fared in the silly part of the season?
I think we did okay. We've had a couple scenarios come up here, obviously with Rich Peverly. That kind of it put things in perspective pretty quick, because everyone, I'm sure, can imagine. But all in all, Tim Thomas has come in, especially the timing of Kari Lehtinen getting hurt. Did a pretty good job. We've struggled here a little bit lately, put some pucks in the net and get behind and things like that. But all in all, from the Dallas Stars perspective, we're right there around it. We need to win some games here and get in the dance. It's
so close, and I'm sure that's the agonizing part of especially with Dallas having had a number of years now without the playoffs. You can feel it, how close you are. You just had, right after the Peverly injury, the next game, a phenomenal win at St. Louis. What looks to be the top seed in the Western Conference could be the first-round matchup if Dallas makes it to that 8th spot. That was a pretty big win right after that. Unfortunately, the next 3 games didn't go the right way.
Yeah, I just think it was an incredible effort, I thought, in St. Louis by the team. I flew with the team over to St. Louis, and everybody was concerned about Rich. We had heard from him that he was okay, he was stable, but just going through it all was pretty difficult for all the group. I thought the players and the coaches did a great job managing their emotions. I think it was good that we were able to skate before the game Tuesday in St. Louis, and then guys just found a way to get a win, and it was a huge win. And yeah, we struggled. I don't know if the emotional energy, just the combination of things, and it's that time of year. Everybody's looking for wins, and and the teams that aren't in it are playing for jobs and things like that. So you got to be ready to play every night.
2 things that have happened for the Texas Stars lineup. One is the injury to Peverly. Obviously, very unpredicting. There's no way you could know that was going to happen as affected, because Colton Sevier called up, and I think justifiably so. He's had a great season down here, and it seems as though, you could speak to it more in depth than I can, that Dallas likes the way he's been playing in the lineup up there.
Well, I'd say that's probably the case, with the exception of probably the Winnipeg game, where everybody was kind of loose and not very good, period. So. But yeah, Colton's deserved the opportunity. I mean, we were pretty clean with injuries up top, and now obviously we've got a couple, and a couple of our guys are getting an opportunity, and that's what it's all about. So I think Colton's doing all right. Chris Mueller, who's up there right now for Sean Horcroft, he's doing fine in a 4th-line role up there, and that's what this league's about. Is it's our coaches and our players. We're developing Dallas Stars here with the Texas Stars, and right now it's going well.
You mentioned it. With the forward group, really, knock on wood, had been injury-free through most of the season. It was the defensive group that had some issues earlier in the year, quite a few actually, but it's been an uncharacteristically light year as far as movement back and forth for forwards up until recently.
Yeah, well, don't hold your breath, though, because it's all the games that are compressed into a schedule that's crazy here to the end in the NHL. It's wild. The AHL's it's not quite as bad. It's still tough, but the NHL is really tough with the schedule the way it is, back-to-backs, things like that NHL teams can take advantage of. So it's a tough grind, and I'm sure there'll be more call-ups.
After the trade deadline was over, the Stars and the rest of the AHL had a week to make deals that were non-NHL trades. And Texas obviously involved with Francis Wattier, an original Star, going to Milwaukee. How pleased are you to see, obviously you didn't know the day before that maybe with the Peverly thing it changes the veteran scenario for the Stars, but how happy are you to see both players doing well with their new teams?
Well, that was the thing. It was just opportunity. It wasn't happening. Francis wasn't playing a lot. He wasn't playing much when he was here, on the ice. So I think this allows him to extend his career with another organization, get seen more by some other teams, and he'll be fine. He's been a good man for us, and we wish him nothing but the best. In terms of Kevin Henderson, we had watched him last year a little bit, liked him. He had a good year. Got some time with Nashville, a couple games. I don't know what the number was, 3 or 4 games with him. In April, I think it was March and April, and then this year it was same as Francis. Wasn't getting the same opportunity, and it just was a fit. So Kevin's come in, done a good job for us. I expect him to get even more confident and more familiar with everyone, and he's doing a good job.
Seemed to be okay against the Chicago Wolves.
He told me, you know what? It's funny. He told me when they were flying up there after the Wednesday game in Charlotte, he said, you know what, I've had some good games against the Wolves. I play them so much. I said, well, we need it this weekend. And he was real good. That whole line was really good, actually. So it was a good weekend so far, and we're in position here. It's been kind of a crazy period here, but all in all, we've been the better team. Mismanaged the puck there. It ends up in the back of our net. Kind of got a little loose on a power play, or a penalty kill rather. Probably shouldn't have been in the box, but these things happen. And you know what? It's we're out shooting them 25-8. Their goalie's standing on his head. He's made about 4 or 5 $10 that have been unbelievable. So, and that happens in this league. So we just got to stay focused, stay patient, and hopefully we can get one on the power play here.
You mentioned goaltending. How nice to have Jack Campbell back. From a Dallas Stars perspective, obviously he's a first-round pick from a few years ago. Everybody in Dallas Stars fandom is excited about his potential. Is the front office for the Dallas Stars equally as excited, especially when he goes into the month of March? He's missed 27 games, and not only does he not miss a beat, he's got a sub-1 goals against average, although tonight might not help. You're doing well when 2 goals hurts your goals against.
Yeah, well, and the thing with that, too, is he's probably, for Jack, he probably wasn't busy enough, and so it's hard. I mean, it's not difficult. He's made a couple good saves, real good saves. Probably want that power play goal back. The other one's a breakaway. It is what it is. You know what? We're pleased. Obviously, we weren't sure how it was going to go. Our training staff and our doctors did a good job. It was just one of those injuries where he kept aggravating it and needed to shut him down. And I credit Jack for being ready and coming in and playing really well. I mean, he's done the job. You know what? He adds to our tandem here with Christopher Nilstorp, who's played fairly well the whole year, been fairly consistent. And, Jack's been good. We feel we have a good tandem.
Says a lot that he there didn't seem any drop-off in his game coming back over 2 months off from playing.
Yeah,
his first start, granted, was only about 8 minutes long in San Antonio, but he looked good then. He had a really good game the next time. He has 2 shutouts since he's come back.
Yeah, and you know what? It's just he was ready. That 8-minute game might have been just what he needed. Break the ice. He gets a good start. The game's fine. Yeah, he only played 8 minutes, but it just gets him through it. He was really, I think, the nerves, and once you get out there, then, it's done. So I think that enabled him to get going on his second start.
Tonight is the last of a stretch of about 12 of 17 away from home.
What's our record on it, Owen?
It's pretty impressive, to say the least. Talking with the coaching staff the other day, coming into that on the road, where the Stars were 500, they were 9-9 in a couple of overtime losses. Now they're 16-10, 2-3 or something like that. They've gone about 75% on this stretch. What do you credit to the coaching staff to getting the road form going? Because it was something they were really good last year. This year the home form has been much better, but they struggled away from home early in the season.
I think it's a combination of things where, you just schedule games, maybe goaltending, maybe we weren't going. We're a team that needs to go with a lot. You've heard it from the coaches. They like to go 4 lines, and I think they've just figured it out now. What's been more impressive was this past weekend in Chicago with 160 points out of the lineup with Mueller, Sevier, and Morin, and the team swept the hottest team in the league in their building. I was very impressed with the team's effort from top to bottom, goaltending both ways. I wasn't there Saturday, but I had heard from not only yourself, but other guys, scouts in the field, that said we were really, really good. They might not have been on their game, but then Sunday to come back within less than 24 hours, Josh Robinson was really good. Subbing in for Jack, giving Jack some rest.
He needed that too.
He needed it too, for sure, and it was good for Josh. But the group played well. I was there. I thought, they tied it late, but you know what happens? That's one of the hardest buildings to play in the league, and but we found a way to get 2 points.
When you look at what that performance was over the weekend, you hear Chicago Wolves staff, other scouts who obviously see a team that's perennially in the hunt. They obviously pride themselves on being a winning organization. You see the 4 championship banners. They've done that. When they say, and you hear them say that they think the Texas Stars are the best team in the Western Conference, what do you think about that?
I say we got a few games left. I say we got to finish strong, playing just good hockey. I like the fact that guys were put in situations last weekend that they probably hadn't been in the last month and a half, 2 months, and I think that's really good for a team and their confidence and just how they feel within the group. I mean, this team's been led by Travis Morin, led by Colt Sevier, Chris Mueller, and when those guys were out, those younger players stepped in and filled roles and got the job done. That should help out those individual players moving ahead as we progress through March and into April and ultimately the playoffs.
This team is loaded with scorers. 4 guys that have just been dominant. Mike Hedden quietly having a career year. It's the 5th leading scorer. It's amazing to see the numbers they put up. But in your mind, is Travis Morin your MVP of the AHL right now?
I would think so. Just the way he's been most consistent. He's had a couple call-ups, came back down. He's been pretty solid all throughout. On top of that, having the family situation too, having another child right in the middle of everything, that's not easy to do, as we all know. And in terms of just, it's not easy. And I think he's done a really good job managing it. And the fact that when he's on the road, he's going against the top pair. It doesn't matter. And so I think he's done a really good job.
Lastly, you mentioned you want to see a few things improve. Last year, the Stars were about 500 in the last 10 games, I think, going into the playoffs. Is that not good enough to get ready for the postseason this year?
You know what? It'll be fine, but I know the group, and you know the coaches.
Yes, I do.
They obviously coaches want to win every single game, but no, I think a little better than that be good. But you know what? We just have to be playing sound hockey. We can't be. Different guys are going to get different opportunities here. Who knows in terms of what movement Dallas and Texas has? You don't know. It's going to be. I think it's going to be crazy. I think there'll be lots of different guys going different places on the ice, different lines, and sometimes that doesn't go sometimes well in games. So far, it's been good, but we'll see how it goes.
Well, I'd have to ask you before we let go. Any chance we're going to see Toby Peterson here before the regular season ends?
I don't know. I keep telling. I talked to Toby when I was there last, and I said, "Are you walking yet?" and all that. So he was. I know he wants to get back. He's a proud guy. He wants to get.
He's got a bobblehead night coming up too.
He's got a bobblehead night. I don't know if he'll make the bobblehead night. That's up to Toby. I'd say he's a little ways away still. I don't know if he'll get back before the end of the season or not. I don't know that.
We're certainly hoping that Dallas makes the playoffs. Sure. If they do, with the movement you're anticipating, he could be a key component to fill in a guy who I think, even though he hasn't played in a while, is one of the most utility infielder type players on the Stars roster.
Help our group because we'll be probably short a veteran or two, so the veteran issue won't be a problem. So I mean, he's right there. Hopefully he can come back. Hopefully he can get in shape before the playoffs, getting a little better game shape. And I think when you put a guy like that who's been in a Stanley Cup final under those pressure situations, he's a smart player. He can help.
Whitey, always a pleasure. Appreciate your time as always. Thanks so much, and enjoy the third period.
Thanks, Owen.
That's Scott White, the general manager of the Texas Stars, joining us here in the intermission interview. We'll be back after this with the start of the third period. It's 2-2 after 40 on the Texas Stars Hockey Network.
Hi,